Hello and welcome into another episode of Rolling with My Special Friends. Today, I'm just going to say it, we got a little something extra, and I truly mean that. We got a young man here that has started an ice cream truck and is basically expanding all over everywhere. It's one of the most rapid business ventures, speed of how this thing's growing that I've ever seen. And I wanted to bring him and Mom on to be able to tell you the whole story and let them, share with you what a little something extra means. Hunter, how are you today, sir?
Good.
Good. And Mom, how are you doing?
I am too. Thank you.
All right. Well, now let's just jump right into this thing. Tell us a little something extra.
So a little something extra is an ice cream truck that we started for Hunter just over 4 years ago. As Hunter started approaching adulthood in his later teens, I began to think about and pray about things that Hunter could do once he was out of high school. And because we live in a rural area, opportunities are somewhat limited. And being a special education teacher at the time and having worked with my own students in the school snack store setting, I began to realize that this would be an amazing opportunity to let the experience of working in something like a snack store, because of the work skills, the financial literacy skills, and the social aspect of it collide. And because we had never had an ice cream truck in our area, it was just like the good Lord revealed to me, that's the route we needed to take. And so in 2018, a little something extra ice cream was born. And that name plays off of the extra chromosome that causes Down syndrome.
Okay. So now that you've said ice cream, tell us all about the inside of this truck. I mean, how many flavors we got? Where can we go to get it?
All right. Well, we carry a full menu of novelty ice cream. So just like what you would see on an old-fashioned ice cream truck, our menu board stays full, and that's usually somewhere between 18 and 20 options. And it's, we go into businesses, we go into schools, we go into nursing homes, we go to celebrate and serve the medical community. And one of our biggest and most exciting things that we do with this ice cream truck is, for the last 2 years, we've been given a contract, not given, but granted, and a contract where we're able to go into the University of Alabama and Auburn University and sell at their home football games, which has been an incredible experience for us.
Well, that's pretty cool in itself. Now, when you say you get to go there and sell, are you setting up right there on the campus on game day?
Yes, we are at the University of Alabama. We're actually on the quad, which is a big, heavy traffic area on game day, as you know. So we're just right there inside of Denny Chimes. At Auburn, we're actually on Heisman Drive, just outside of the stadium. And so both experiences are incredible. And whether you're an Alabama fan or an Auburn fan, I can tell you that fans from both sides are incredible and have been so welcoming and supportive of a little something extra ice cream truck.
That's what I was just about to ask. How supportive does this thing seem to be? I mean, I can tell because I can see how the business is growing and how many people are out there reaching out, trying to be a part of this business. So it sounds like and looks like to me it's an overwhelming success.
It is. The first day that we set up in Tuscaloosa last year, Hunter ended up having to move outside of the truck from serving to a table in front of the truck because so many sorority girls were wanting their picture made with Hunter. He's a pretty good he's pretty good success himself. But at Auburn and at Alabama, everyone has been welcoming, from the sororities to Auburn's Advancement College brought us in this summer to speak to their people, their administrators, and it was a room full of very important people there at Auburn University. The University of Alabama is currently doing a documentary on a little something extra ice cream, and I hope that will be out by the end of the year. They'll be filming some more footage this coming weekend at the football game, and so it just goes on and on. Locally, my own alma mater, JSU, Jacksonville State University. We're working on a contract with them to hopefully set up inside their football stadium, but to also be on campus and serve their students from time to time. They brought us in to serve their athletes. University UAH in Huntsville has brought us in. Sneed State University, Sneed State Community College. So many different collegiate schools have brought us in, and I think it's wonderful. And then elementary schools, middle schools, high schools have brought us in. And Hunter is just getting to meet so many incredible people, along with myself, along with our ice cream experts. And the list goes on and on. Every day it's a new opportunity, and we are humbled.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a fan as well. I've been watching from the outside and seeing how well this thing's growing. Now that you've brought that up and all these opportunities and things that are going on, tell us some of the awards and the things that Hunter has going on. I heard about Times Square. I've heard about leadership awards. Kind of get everybody, tell us about the CEO himself and what he's got.
Well, Hunter, as we've already said, is a pretty incredible person. For the last 2 years, in 2020 and 2021, the National Down Syndrome Society chose Hunter as one of the people with Down syndrome from across America to be featured on Times Square on the Jumbotron. And that was, unfortunately, because of the shutdowns, we were not able to be there to see it in person, but we got to watch it live, and it was an awesome experience, wasn't it, Hunter?
The volume.
Yes. And then also last year, Hunter received the statewide leadership award through vocational rehab. And that too was an incredible award for him. He received it locally at the county level. And then from everyone who received it locally, he won the state award. He was chosen for that award. And he's just getting a lot of publicity. And I believe he's giving a lot of hope to a lot of people.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's a lot of publicity that's needed because of what he's doing and the inspiration he's providing to these other families and kids and everybody out there. It's just amazing to see when he comes into town. That's what I hear the story of. Boy, you wouldn't believe who was here. And like you said, the sorority girls wanting to take pictures with him. So now tell me, so everybody gets onto the page here, in the ice cream world, how, if I'm out here listening and I'm a Tennessee, a Georgia, whomever else out there, a high school that wants to get involved, how can I get a piece of this little something extra ice cream?
Well, it's very simple. We are very accessible. So you can find us on Facebook, A Little Something Extra Ice Cream. Our email address is extraicecream@yahoo.com. Our telephone contact information is also there. And we have a website, which is a little something extra icecream.com. So people can reach out to us there. Also, I'm terrible at posting as much on Instagram and Twitter, but we do have accounts there as well. And so we could be reached out to via those media outlets as well. Okay.
And I know, about that, people trying to reach out and get involved in it. There's also families out there that have got special people like Hunter and like these others. I've heard a story, and you've explained some of it to me, that you're out there training other people to become CEOs and do their own ice cream. How many have you guys influenced so far doing that?
Well, so far, our long-term dream is to have a little something extra ice cream trucks on the road, because I know that there are many families out there who are walking similar paths as us, wondering what their child is going to do in adulthood and wanting more for their child than just to stay home. I know that Hunter has a lot to offer the world, and I know that the world has a lot to offer Hunter, just like with any typical person. And so as of now, we have one additional ice cream truck, and that is we've done a license agreement through the ARC of DeKalb County. And we have trained 40 individuals from the ARC of DeKalb County, the people that they serve, to work in the ice cream truck their own ice cream truck, actually, to get community-based employment. So within our own family, we have our truck, we have a concession trailer that we also serve out of. And then Arc of DeKalb County has a truck like ours with the freezer and the full menu. And we book events. They book a lot of their own events to go in and provide community-based employment for those individuals. We are hopeful to have an additional truck with a family that we're working with now that will cover North Alabama, the Madison County area, hopefully in spring of 2023. And then we don't intend for that to be the last one. We want to continue adding trucks.
Wow. Now that's pretty impressive to get out there and actually put trucks on the road and, as they say, boots on the ground, of people out there expanding the message and getting it out there of how many people can, have their own influence and have their own ice cream truck, just like Hunter's doing. Now, out of all those ones that you've trained and everything, is there a way, I guess the same way people would reach out to you about being trained is through the websites and the social media?
That's correct. And once a year, we hold our own training for the experts who work in our truck. So any individual who wants to work in our truck, they become a certified ice cream expert. And that gives Hunter an opportunity to work with many of his peers. It gives so many individuals with intellectual disabilities an opportunity to do the same thing as Hunter is doing, and that is work in the ice cream truck to show off their abilities. And I promise you that every single one of our ice cream experts, they are just full of ability and so much to offer the world. And we have them trained from Georgia all the way through Montgomery and Birmingham, all through. We're in DeKalb County, and so our neighboring counties, we have many. And so wherever our events are, those are the individuals that we reach out to come and work with us in the ice cream truck. So it just gives Hunter an opportunity to work with a multitude of his friends, and it's been a beautiful experience. But we train those individuals every year. So even if they trained last year and they want to come back, they can go through the training again because it's such a fun experience. It's just a full night of celebrating their abilities. And then they are awarded a badge with their name. And then they have a new uniform every year and a certificate. They graduate to pomp and circumstance. It is a great experience for them, but it's also an amazing experience for their parents to see their young adult accomplishing something that maybe at one point in their life they thought they would never get to experience.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. And I mean, I love that whole thing. Now, I'd also be doing this story an injustice if I didn't give you the opportunity to tell people how in the world this came, how you woke up and this dream was put into your mind and into your heart to be able to do this, to make this ice cream truck come to life.
Well, since the day Hunter was born, I always tried to think about what his future would look like. And I prayed about it a lot, but I'm human. I worried about it a lot too. And I fully believe that God does give us the desires of our heart. And it's not always in our time, nor is it always the way that we hoped for. A lot of times it's even better, so much more extra than anything that we could have ever imagined. And so I always worried because I knew Hunter could stay in school till he was 21. But then I was worried about what he would do after 21. But he graduated in 2020 when he was 19 years old. And his sister had already graduated and moved to Auburn. And so when I told him that he would go back to school the next year, he was a little devastated because his sister didn't have to go back to school. His other friends, once they graduated, that was it. And so the next year, Hunter did go back to school as a teacher's helper for that 1 year. But when he was about 17 years old, I started being awakened night after night after night. And it was always at 2 a.m. And it was always with another piece of the puzzle to putting an ice cream truck together. Now, if you know me, I cherish my sleep. So we know that there was a greater power awakening me. And it was night after night, and maybe not consecutive nights, but it got to the point where I started leaving a notebook next to my bed because I knew that so many pieces of the puzzle would be revealed to me. And the next day I would investigate that and research. And God helped us piece together a little something extra ice cream truck from an old FedEx Mercedes Sprinter truck. And he showed us how to piece this together. And little did I know that in 2016, the International Ice Cream Convention had launched an initiative to try and employ more individuals in the mobile vending industry. And we were the first ice cream truck of this kind to ever be launched in America.
Wow.
And so once they learned of us, they brought Hunter and our family into the ice cream convention as their guest of honor because we were the first of this kind in America, which I think is pretty incredible.
No, that's really incredible. And now, also to add that piece of the puzzle that most people don't know out there, you guys have also wrote 2 books to go along with Hunter's life and Hunter's story and the ice cream truck. Tell us about the 2 books.
In 2020, we wrote and published our first book. It's called Stars in My Eyes, and it's actually written from Hunter's point of view. One of the characteristics of a person with Down syndrome is something called brush field spots, and they're very noticeable in the eyes of people with Down syndrome who have lighter colored eyes. And I remember when Hunter was a baby, I would look into his eyes and I would think those are the prettiest eyes I've ever seen. And then later I learned those were called brush field spots. So we took that concept and put a spin on it. And so one page from the book says, "My mom says I have stars in my eyes to show the world that I have hopes and dreams. These stars in my eyes help me realize that I can accomplish anything." And it starts from him trying to walk on through him wanting to play sports and him growing up and wanting to have a job on into the ice cream truck. And then let's see, I can, Hunter, do you want to go over there and get a copy of the book? It's right there if you'd like to do that. And then our second book that came out this year is called Superpowers. And I'm sure you recognize the handsome fella, especially when he does his hand like that.
Yep.
And so this book actually begins the day that a child is born with Down syndrome. And I remember the day that Hunter was born and we received the diagnosis. I was scared, very scared, and I did not know what his future nor our future would look like. And so this book goes through the doctor telling the parents that their child was born with Down syndrome, except that he uses the words superpowers. And it answers all the questions that most families ask. It does not use hyperbole. It's straightforward. But rather than saying your child has been born with Down syndrome and these are the characteristics, these are things that you will look for, it says superpowers, because I've said time and time again, no one tried to tell me what my children who were born without Down syndrome would or would not accomplish in their life. And so it really wasn't fair to Hunter for someone to tell me what to expect him to never do, because nobody had ever met Hunter before. God created him with a purpose, and I wasn't going to set limits on him. And he sure hasn't set limits on himself. And so this book was written for any person, but I hope that it brings a lot of hope and alleviates a lot of fears for new parents who are entering this journey. But we've been able to use these books and the ice cream truck and go into schools and do literacy lessons and lessons on acceptance and inclusion. And that's been a beautiful part of our journey as well.
So tell us how to get the book.
These books are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, but we also have these books available. If you would like an autographed copy, you can reach out to us through that same way that you would reach out to us if you wanted to book or you wanted to talk about starting your own ice cream truck, and that could be through extraicecream@yahoo.com. You could reach out to us through any of the social media formats. And like I said, even our cell number is on our webpage. And on our social media page, so we could be reached out to personally that way as well.
Hunter, what's your favorite ice cream, buddy?
Civic Glory.
Oh, okay.
Chips galore, hands down. We sell a ton of those because that's Hunter's favorite.
Wow. So now you said 18 flavors, correct? Out of the 18 flavors, what is Mama's favorite?
Do you know what my favorite is?
9.
None. Well, it's just because I like them all, right?
Hey.
I tell people it's a terrible part of the job, but we have to sample the ice cream to make sure that we are providing the quality product. So it's just terrible. We have to eat all the ice cream. It's all good. We would never sell anything that wasn't.
So also now tell me, is there anything out there that we can also buy besides the ice cream to support, or do we have some t-shirts or hats or anything?
We do carry, and we used to carry those on the truck a lot, but the way that we just stopped carrying them on the truck. But if anyone would like a t-shirt or a hat, we can definitely hook them up with those. One of the fan favorites is a shirt that has our logo on it, but it says "I'm so extra." And Hunter is so extra. I'm so extra. Jim, I bet you're so extra too in a whole lot of ways. I like my jewelry. Hunter just he's extra because everybody wants to be in his presence. And so we like those shirts a lot. We have some with their logo that says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." We have a plethora of shirts with our logo, and if anybody's interested in that or with a hat with their logo on it, they can definitely reach out and we can set them up with one of those.
There you go. Well, that's what people, they love wearing merchandise to be able to get out there and support you that way because, we're not always in every area we're in got that ice cream truck close by. So if I wear the shirt, then I feel like I'm getting a little something extra anyway.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So now tell us something funny that most people don't know that's involved in this ice cream, or a story about Hunter. Give us something that everybody out there don't know.
Well, Hunter loves to sell the ice cream, obviously. He loves to go out and meet people. But let me tell you Hunter's favorite part about this business. And I think you're going to agree with me, Hunter. His favorite part is when the customers walk up, most people are holding their phones. And Hunter likes to tell them what kind of phone they have. As immediately, he can look at it and tell if they have an iPhone 8, an iPhone XR, an iPhone 12, 13, just immediately. I can't do that. He can recognize if if they have an Android, a Motorola. He'll let them know if he likes their phone or if they need an upgrade. And people are amazed when we go into the Apple store. Those Apple geniuses are pretty amazed at Hunter too, because he has this incredible memory and this extensive knowledge of especially Apple products.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I was my own back.
He gets mad when we trade them in. He wants to collect them all. So we eventually stopped trading them in. So when he upgrades, he can keep his old one, but he's still kind of mad about his iPhone 8 being traded in.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sure that these newer ones are a whole lot more fun to play with than the 8s.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now tell us, as we like to talk about in our podcast, our signature series question, if everything were to be over tomorrow and God decided to bring Hunter home, and I or you or anybody within his family wrote a book about him and the inspiration that he's made, what would you hope that people would read in their book about Hunter's life?
Well, when Hunter was born, we were told immediately that he had Down syndrome, and that was coined as a disability. But even though Down syndrome is viewed as a disability, what I know is that Hunter has an incredible ability. We're all born with strengths and we're all born with weaknesses. And I've seen time and time again that this boy next to me has strengths that I will never have. And he may struggle in some areas, but I struggle in some areas too. And he has just these vast abilities to draw people to him, abilities to work with electronics. He is so in tune with the weather, and he knows that we're going to have storms before weather broadcasters know that we're going to have storms sometimes. He has just these incredible abilities. And I hope that the world will always know that this boy here, he was born with a purpose, just as you were born with a purpose, and I was too. And I often tell when we're speaking that our ice cream, as we've mentioned, the menu, it's a full menu. But how boring it would be if we pulled up and we had one flavor. You know, it's not going to be everybody's favorite flavor. And what makes our ice cream truck so incredible, in addition to our experts or the beautiful way that it's decorated, but it's because we offer such a wide variety of products. And that's what makes our world so incredible too, is that we are all different. We're all born with strengths. We're all born with weaknesses. But all of our differences is what makes this world beautiful. And I know that God designed it that way. And so Hunter's life was put here for a purpose. And whether he lives to be 100 years old or not, that purpose is going to live on because he has truly made his mark on the world.
Right. Well, I mean, it can't be even any better said than that, because he truly is an inspiration out there for a lot of people that are watching. You wouldn't realize how many people you guys are touching that you don't even know, because I hear stories all the time of, you know, saw them at Auburn University's game and they were so sweet and so nice and they were so, you know, just an inspiration. That's what the word that keeps coming up is to see you guys there and how inspiring it is to see him and his trained friends out there selling their ice cream. And I just think it's a absolutely amazing story and a special, you know, thing that we needed to tell on here. So run us through it one more time and let's recap it to make sure. How do we find you guys? If I'm wanting to get in touch with you, how do I do it?
We can be reached through Facebook at A Little Something Extra Ice Cream. And then our Instagram is A Little Something Extra Ice Cream, Hunter Norwood, CEO. And then we are also on Twitter. I believe our handle is Extra Ice Cream 1. So we can be located and reached out to through any of those formats. And then we have a website, alittlesomethingextraicecream.com. Or our email is extraicecream@yahoo.com. And we don't do routes like a lot of ice cream trucks do. We do most of what we do are private events, going into companies. It's incredible to see how it boosts morale just to bring in that ice cream truck and serve individuals who have been on the shift for a few hours, not only because of the ice cream truck or the music playing, but because they're served by such amazing ice cream experts. So it works to provide opportunities for our experts, but it also works to boost morale and bolster up those employees. And so we do a lot of private events, like I said, those, and then schools, and but we do set up at home games for Alabama and Auburn, and we hope to continue adding to that. So just reach out to us. We would love to talk with you. We'd love to share more of our story. The story has so many amazing parts to it. There's no way we could fit it all into one podcast, but we've tried to hit the high notes.
Oh, yeah. No, and I thank you guys for coming on and being able to tell us the story and get us a little bit into it. As you said, it could take a long time, and hopefully it's going to be the next 20, 30 years of growing this business and turn into something absolutely amazing. And I'm just glad to be a fan of it and out there enjoying the ice cream myself. I've like I said, had a lot of friends that have come and eat before, and they tell me what an amazing experience as it is, as you said. So if you guys are out there looking for a private party, if you have a business that want to call in, and I know some of these companies that may have shifts, like first, second, third shift, they bring in you guys and do the ice cream truck for each shift and allow them to have that experience. So I think it's really cool.
We love it, and it's been incredible to meet so many people. Hunter has sat with CEOs and he's sat with college athletes, and he's had opportunities that at one point I was afraid that he would never ever have. And October happens to be Down Syndrome Awareness Month. And I hope that this podcast, I hope that our books, I hope that the ice cream truck, I hope that just our lives are able to show people that sometimes the world thinks that if you have a child that's born with a disability, that your life has changed. And it does change, but my life changed when every single one of our children was born. But sometimes people think that it changes your life for the worst.
Right.
And that could be no further from the truth. Let me tell you that the truth is my life is better because of this young man who's sitting beside of me. He has changed me in many, many ways and for the good. And any person who is fortunate enough to be the parent of, or be a relative of, or be the friend of someone with Down syndrome or any exceptionality, you've been given a gift, and you need to embrace that gift because it's one not to be taken lightly. Your life can be changed too.
Well, and that's, I mean, again, that's the reason that we wanted to bring you guys on and hear the story, because it's so special, and how he and many others out there are changing lives each and every day. So it's just an amazing story all the way around. And again, I want to thank you guys for coming on and sharing with us. And for everybody out there listening, be sure to go out and check us out on all the podcast places where you go get your podcast from. Also, go check us out on YouTube, like and subscribe our channel so that we can keep bringing you more videos. Be out there looking for the next one available. Hunter, thank you, buddy, for coming on and being part of us today.
You're welcome.